Hi, and welcome to Goddess Class 3. I'm so glad you're here. If you've missed Goddess Class 1 and 2, please take the time and go back and watch those because they're very important. Each class builds upon the class that came before it, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's topic, which is our deadly friend, sugar. So, our sweetest enemy, sugar. Now, here it is over here on the right side, the way that Mother Earth intended it to be. And here it is, how it is presented to us at home and everywhere else, after it's been through a bunch of processes to make it look like this. Oh, so it can be more convenient for us to use. I remember when I was little, I ate a ton of candy. And when my mom brought home sugar cane, I was so excited to be able to try it. But I have to tell you, I was very disappointed after I tried it because it wasn't as sweet as the sugar that I was used to eating. And I just couldn't understand why. Well, it's because humans did something a little bit extra to it. And when they did that extra processing to it, it completely changed what the sugar does to us. So, sugar. It all equals fat and inflammation. I know that you've heard that, don't eat too much sugar, it'll rot your teeth, it'll make you fat. Yes, that's all true. But there's another piece of information that you need to know, and that is that it causes inflammation. When I was young, my grandmother used to send me a box of candy for my birthday every year. The box was really big. And she put a lot of those hard candies in it and a lot of my favorite candies. And I just thought it was the best thing. I was so happy. I had no idea that she was, in actuality, sending me a box of poison. And we've kind of been brainwashed to eat candy. For Valentine's Day, give your love a box of chocolates, a box of fat. How about a heart-shaped box of, you guessed it, inflammation? Who knew? Oh my gosh, look at those brownies and fudge bars and pound cake. Oh, it looks delicious. And we have been programmed to eat and love this kind of food in the morning and for dessert. It's not good for us. Sugar is a silent killer because it causes inflammation. Now, I'm just not telling you this out of the clear blue sky. I've lived this. So I used to go to a well-known coffee shop. I'm not going to give any names, okay? And my favorite drink was white mocha grande white mocha. Delicious. I loved it so much that sometimes I'd have 2 in a day. Well, it was no wonder why I started having some issues later on. It probably took me well around a year to figure out it was the sugar in the coffee that was doing me in. I would get like a bump on my arm and it would itch. And then the next day it would be gone. And I would be like, what the heck is that? Was that a bite or something? No, it was gone. Because you drink water, it goes out of your system, and then it's gone. And then the next day, I'd have a bump on my leg somewhere that itched, and then all of a sudden that was gone too. And I'm wondering, what in the Sammy Hill is going on here? Come to find out, when I had like a kind of like an overload of sugar in my system, I would get these bumps, these inflamed patches on my skin. Now, if you keep eating the sugar, keep eating the sugar, keep eating the sugar, could you imagine if you're getting these inflamed patches on the outside of your skin, what is happening on the inside that you can't even see? Makes you wonder. Also makes you wonder about all those trips to the doctors people make. It could be this. And if you let it go and go and go and go and go, then it turns into something worse. It's amazing to find out that sugar does this to us. It's really mind-blowing. And it also makes me quite sad too, because sugar is so sweet. Okay, here we go. The brainwashing starts early. I mean, you remember when we were small, we loved to chase after the ice cream man. Mommy, can I please have $1? Who knew that the ice cream man was carrying a truck of poison? And I have to tell you this because we as parents are brainwashing our children the same way we were brainwashed. Oh, you want ice cream? If you're good, I'll give you ice cream. Turns out it's not so good for us. Parties, birthday parties, look at the layout now of the parties that they have. They want us to be fancy. And isn't that a beautiful presentation of that delicious, yummy, silent killer candy? So we really have to know what we're putting in our body, and we have to understand what the food is doing to us. And we have to put a stop to it. I remember I told you before that some of the foods that we talked about in Goddess class number 1 and 2 hold on to weight. And I told you that, you don't have to give it up forever. You just have to give it up a long enough time to get down to the weight that you want. But that doesn't really go for the sugar. The sugar, you've got to try to cut out. Now, having said that, have I cut out 100% of sugar out of my life? No, almost. We're so used to having sweet things. Yes, every now and then I'm going to go get something sweet. But we need to make it a habit not to. And so that's very important. When you get that item with sugar in it, to really sit down and enjoy it, because you probably shouldn't have another one for like 2 weeks, maybe 3. Okay. If you cut out the sugar every day, you will lose weight. You will lose weight and it will start to just fall off of you. I say this because I was drinking that sugarized coffee every day. And then I was also eating like a little piece of candy here and there, a little snack to the convenience store, pick up something sweet to keep in your car, that kind of thing. Once, if you can cut that out for a week, week and a half, you might be dying for a candy bar, but you're going to feel better and you're going to notice that you're starting to lose weight. So, sweet, sugar, and sweets make you jiggly in the middle. Jiggly. I remember I went crazy one day and I bought a pack of cookies and I sat in front of the TV. Yeah, and I ate them all, every last one. Oh my God, it was so delicious. But I was also really fat for like the next 4 to 5 days. All the cookies just sat in my stomach right there. And my stomach was jiggly and a wiggly, like jelly. Not fun, not cute. Try it. Don't try it. I'm just kidding. All right, let's move on. Okay, foods that cause inflammation. As you know, we're talking about refined sugar down here. But guess what? There are some other items on here that also cause inflammation. So before in the goddess class, number 1, we talked about the bread. Okay. Bread puffs you up. Remember the pillow in the middle? All right. And we touched on the dairy a little bit in the last class. I'm not going to get too much into that. But, you know, dairy does some things to people and it does other things to other people. For me, it made my bones and my joints hurt. Yeah, it did. And I can tell you that because, you know, I started feeling like an old crusty lady until I cut out all my dairy, and I don't feel like an old crusty lady anymore. I can bend down and get back up without going, oh, ah, ee, oh. Cut it out. Our fave, corn. Gosh, why does it have to be GMO? Ah. What a disappointment. Tastes so good. Fried foods, well, we don't have to talk about that. I mean, you already know that fried foods are bad for you, but they are delicious. Yum, yum, yum. And looks like red meat causes inflammation. I talked about that a little bit last time. You know, to eat meat, you've got to put a ton of seasoning on it. So if you have to put a ton of seasoning on something just so you can get it down, you know, into your stomach, maybe it's not so good in the first place. Why don't you try and cook a piece of meat with no seasoning on it and see if it tastes good? Let's just see. So there are foods that cause inflammation, and sugar is definitely one of the big ones. All right, so what is your daily sugar intake? 8 ways chronic inflammation can damage your body. Let's take a look at this. So inflammation can increase your cardiovascular risk. Ouch. Oh, here was mine. Joint pain and loss of mobility. Abnormal growth of healthy cells. That's not good. Of course, we know this one, weight gain. We know that one. And that's why we're having this class, but who knew? There's some other things that we really need to know. Like inflammation can give you a compromised digestive function, memory loss and cognitive decline. Oh boy. Accelerated skin aging and wrinkles. And lastly, loss of muscle tone. I bet you didn't realize that that soda that you drank yesterday and that stick of gum and that yummy piece of candy that was in your bag can do all this to you. You need to let that sit with you for a moment. You need to realize, think about, what is your daily sugar intake? How much sugar are you putting into your body every day? You might not even realize, but you need to realize now before you get older, so that if you stop intaking so much sugar when you get older, you'll be a lot healthier. Okay, let's continue on. So inflammation can be inside you without you even realizing it. Okay. Chronic inflammation. So this is, you know, just piling on the sugar every day, you know. Oh, let's have some pancakes with some syrup. Yeah. Let's have that soda with some lunch. Yeah. Let's have some cake after dinner for dessert. Early life stress, T-cell dysfunction, diabetes, obesity, depression, cancer. So I think these are some pretty important reasons why we should limit our sugar intake and take this serious. And then in regards to our children and our grandchildren, we're gonna have to teach them the right way to eat, because we are being lied to by companies that want to sell their food to us so that they can make money and we can be sick. It's no fun to be sick. Not at all. All right. Sugar affects everyone differently, but with inflammation. Okay. So a lot of people eat sugar, and it's affecting each one of us differently in different ways. But it's all with the inflammation. So this picture is just showing you some of the different aches and pains you can have. Pretty scary. Sugar is hiding from us. Before, we didn't know all about this. It's not our fault. I have to say this. Anybody who feels that they're overweight, it's not your fault. It's not. It's not. We've been lied to, and we've been brainwashed. All so somebody else can put money in their pocket while we have to deal with the fallout. But now that we're informed, we have to be more responsible for ourselves and our children. We've got to make a change in order to repair and extend our life force. You've got to take charge. Look at this chart. Do you drink anything on here? We really don't have to look at the brand names, because it's mostly everything that comes in a package. That's an awful lot of sugar cubes going in those drinks. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Some of those I drink or used to drink. So stay informed. If you're wondering, oh, well, I need my caffeine, or, I need my little sweet to make it through the day, there are some other options that you can try instead of these. My next class is going to be all about the good foods to eat. Let's continue with this. All right. Fight back with the correct food choices. So we have a little sneak peek here. 12 foods that fight inflammation. Okay? You've got a papaya, avocado, cranberries, broccoli, red cabbage, hemp seeds, blueberries, chia seeds, ginger, walnuts, turmeric, and celery. Some of my favorites on here is the avocado, because you can just cut that up and throw it on your salad, your sandwich, anything, and it will help fight that inflammation. Blueberries are awesome. They're antioxidant and they fight inflammation. You can't go wrong with blueberries. You need to be eating blueberries every week, every couple of days. You need to have some. And the other total winner, well, there's a couple other winners on here. Ginger is also good for circulation, okay? And ginger also makes you happy. So you can fight inflammation and elevate your mood too. And ginger comes in many different forms. Walnuts is another antioxidant, but sometimes people don't like walnuts. They don't like the way they taste, or they may be allergic to the nuts, but they too are an antioxidant for cancer. And I do believe that the champion on this page is probably the turmeric, okay? Turmeric fights infection like nobody's business. It's serious. And you don't need that much. There are starting to be a lot of turmeric products out there. So don't get lost in all of that. Don't spend a fortune buying turmeric. Go to the cultural grocery store and buy it in a little plastic package for like $2. Sprinkle it on your food, call it a great day, you're done. That's it. If you have an abscess, a boil, if you have any kind of inflammation and you can see it, put a little turmeric in your life and it'll knock it out like that. I've tried it, I know. Don't use too much, because too much, too much of anything is not a good thing. But you just need a little bit of turmeric. Turmeric is very, very, very strong. But it's great. If you don't have any turmeric in your house, you need to put it in your house. And they do sell capsules, but who knows what's in those capsules. I would just buy the straight turmeric. Let's see what else we have here for today. All right, we're done. So what did we learn in today's class? Now remember, we're writing affirmations. So what are you going to add to your affirmation after you've learned today's information? Okay, so let's do a quick review. Sugar causes inflammation. Okay, we have been brainwashed about sugar. Sugar is everywhere, and we need to beware of the silent killer. You have to take charge of your health. All right, our next Goddess class is going to be more foods to focus on. If you should have any questions about anything that I've talked about in this class, feel free. You can email me, you can message me, get in contact with me, and I will get back to you. All right. I'm wishing you all a fabulous day. Take care and be safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.